Welcome back to Voice of Africa, your go-to channel for in-depth insights into African geopolitics and international relations. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of Ibrahim Traore. Who is this man and why is he hailed as a hero in Nicaragua? Join us as we explore the remarkable journey of a leader who emerged from obscurity to become a symbol of hope and resilience. In September 2022, Captain Ibrahim Traore, a 34-year-old military officer, assumed power in Burkina Faso through a coup d'etat. This landlocked West African nation, grappling with persistent security challenges and economic instability, witnessed a significant shift in its political landscape. Traore's ascension to leadership was precipitated by growing discontent with the previous government's inability to combat escalating terrorist threats. The geopolitical implications of Traore's rise extend beyond Africa's borders, particularly resonating in Nicaragua, a Central American nation with a history of anti-imperialist sentiments. This unexpected alliance raises a compelling question. How did a military leader from a landlocked African country become a celebrated figure in a nation over 9,000 kilometers away? The answer lies in a complex web of shared ideologies, strategic interests, and a mutual desire for sovereignty. Before we dive deeper, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with all our latest content. Your support helps us bring you more insightful videos. To understand Ibrahim Traore's impact on Burkina Faso, we must examine his domestic policies and their effects on the nation's political landscape. Since assuming power, Traore has prioritized combating terrorism and promoting national security, issues that have long plagued this West African nation. In recent months, Burkina Faso's armed forces have received a significant boost in their operational capabilities. The delivery of a new batch of 400 armored vehicles, provided by the People's Republic of China, marked a turning point in the country's military preparedness. This delivery, showcased in a formal ceremony attended by high-ranking officials, included approximately 50 CS VP-14 military vehicles and 40 VP-11 vehicles. This move demonstrates Traore's commitment to strengthening Burkina Faso's defense capabilities against terrorist threats. Moreover, Traore has implemented a strategy of increased military engagement in regions previously controlled by jihadist groups. This approach has led to the recapture of several key territories, providing a sense of security to local populations. However, this aggressive military stance has also raised concerns about potential human rights violations and the displacement of civilians in conflict zones. On the economic front, Traore's leadership has seen a push towards greater resource nationalism. In a bold move, he has advocated for renegotiating mining contracts with foreign companies, aiming to secure a larger share of profits for Burkina Faso. This approach has garnered support from those who believe the country's natural resources have been exploited by foreign interests for too long. Yet, it has also created uncertainty among international investors, potentially impacting future foreign direct investment. Socially, Traore has emphasized the importance of national unity and patriotism. His government has launched initiatives to promote Burkinabe culture and values, particularly among the youth. These efforts aim to counter the allure of extremist ideologies and foster a stronger sense of national identity. However, critics argue that this approach may inadvertently marginalize minority groups and exacerbate existing ethnic tensions. Public perception of Traore within Burkina Faso remains complex and divided. While comprehensive polling data is limited, anecdotal evidence suggests a significant portion of the population, particularly young people, view him as a strong leader capable of addressing the country's security challenges. His anti-corruption stance and calls for greater sovereignty have resonated with many who were disillusioned with previous administrations. Internationally, opinions on Traore's leadership are mixed. Western nations have expressed concern over the democratic legitimacy of his government, given its origin in a military coup. However, some countries in the global south, including Nicaragua, have embraced Traore as a symbol of resistance against neo-colonialism and Western influence. Traore's actions in Burkina Faso have caught the attention of other nations, particularly those with anti-imperialist leanings. His emphasis on national sovereignty, resource control, and military self-reliance aligns with the ideologies of countries seeking to challenge the existing global order. Nicaragua, with its history of revolutionary politics and opposition to US influence, has found common ground with Traore's vision for Burkina Faso. The historical and ideological connections between Burkina Faso and Nicaragua run deeper than one might initially assume. Both nations share a legacy of anti-imperialist struggle and a commitment to sovereignty in the face of external pressures. This common ground has laid the foundation for a unique alliance that has elevated Ibrahim Traore to hero status in Nicaragua. Nicaragua's Sandinista government, led by President Daniel Ortega, has long championed a foreign policy rooted in solidarity with nations resisting Western influence. Traore's bold stance against what he perceives as neo-colonial forces in Burkina Faso aligns closely with Nicaragua's political ideology. His actions and rhetoric have struck a chord with the Nicaraguan leadership and populace alike. Specific statements by Traore have resonated strongly in Nicaragua. In a recent address, Traore declared, "We refuse to be a puppet state controlled by foreign interests. Burkina Faso's resources belong to its people." This sentiment echoes Nicaragua's own struggles against external economic and political pressures, particularly from the United States. Moreover, Traore's decision to expel Burkina Faso in January 2023 was met with widespread approval in Nicaragua. The Nicaraguan government issued a statement praising this move as a courageous step towards true independence. This action was seen as a parallel to Nicaragua's own efforts to assert its sovereignty in the face of what it perceives as US interference. The alignment between Traore's policies and Nicaragua's national interests has led to tangible diplomatic exchanges. In March 2023, a high-level Burkinabe delegation visited Managua to discuss potential areas of cooperation. The visit culminated in the signing of a memorandum of understanding on cultural and educational exchanges, signaling a deepening of ties between the two nations. Furthermore, Nicaragua has been vocal in its support for Burkina Faso in international forums. At a recent United Nations General Assembly session, Nicaragua's representative condemned what they termed as unjust sanctions against Burkina Faso, calling for global solidarity with Traore's government. The media coverage and public discourse in Nicaragua regarding Traore have been overwhelmingly positive. State-owned television channels have run extensive features on Burkina Faso's revolutionary leader, drawing parallels between Traore and iconic Latin American figures like Fidel Castro and Hugo Chavez. Nicaraguan newspapers frequently publish articles praising Traore's leadership. A recent editorial in El Nuevo Diario declared, "In Traore, we see a kindred spirit, a leader willing to stand up to the neo-colonial powers that seek to exploit Africa's wealth." Such narratives have contributed significantly to Traore's hero status among the Nicaraguan public. Social media in Nicaragua has also played a role in amplifying Traore's popularity. Hashtags like #Solidaridad con Traore, Solidarity with Traore, and #Burkina Faso Libre, Free Burkina Faso, frequently trend on Nicaraguan Twitter, reflecting widespread support for his leadership. Public demonstrations of solidarity have further cemented Traore's status in Nicaragua. In Managua, a mural depicting Traore alongside other anti-imperialist leaders was unveiled in a ceremony attended by government officials and civil society representatives. This visual representation serves as a powerful symbol of Nicaragua's embrace of Traore and his ideals. The rise of Ibrahim Traore and his subsequent popularity in Nicaragua reflect broader geopolitical shifts occurring in Africa and Latin America. This unexpected alliance signals a growing resistance to Western influence in these regions, challenging traditional power dynamics and fostering new forms of South-South cooperation. Traore's anti-imperialist stance and emphasis on national sovereignty have struck a chord not only in Nicaragua, but also in other nations seeking to assert their independence from Western powers. This alignment of ideologies has the potential to reshape international relations, particularly in the global South. The impact of this alliance on international relations is multifaceted. Major global powers, particularly Western nations, have expressed concern over the growing ties between Burkina Faso and Nicaragua. The United States, which has historically viewed Latin America as its sphere of influence, sees this development as a potential threat to its interests in the region. European nations, especially France, have also reacted with apprehension. Traore's decision to expel French troops from Burkina Faso has strained relations with Paris and other European capitals. This move, coupled with strengthening ties to Nicaragua, signals a shift away from traditional alliances and towards new partnerships based on shared anti-Western sentiments. Regional organizations have responded cautiously to this emerging alliance. The African Union has maintained a neutral stance, emphasizing the importance of African solutions to African problems. Meanwhile, the Organization of American States, OAS, has expressed concern over Nicaragua's deepening ties with what it perceives as an undemocratic regime in Burkina Faso. The economic and strategic implications of strengthened ties between Burkina Faso and Nicaragua are significant. While the two countries have limited direct economic interactions due to geographical distance, their alliance opens doors for broader cooperation among like-minded nations. This collaboration could extend to other countries with similar ideological leanings, such as Venezuela, Cuba, and Iran. Such a network of alliances could potentially create alternative economic and diplomatic channels, bypassing Western-dominated international systems. In the realm of natural resources, Burkina Faso's gold mining sector could benefit from increased investment and technological support from these new partnerships. Nicaragua, with its experience in managing foreign mining interests, could provide valuable insights to Burkina Faso as it seeks to renegotiate its mining contracts. Militarily, the exchange of training and intelligence between Burkina Faso and Nicaragua, along with other aligned nations, could bolster their respective defense capabilities. This cooperation might extend to joint military exercises or the sharing of equipment and tactics, particularly in areas such as counterinsurgency operations. The long-term consequences of Traore's international popularity on Burkina Faso's position in global affairs are complex. On one hand, this newfound prominence on the world stage could enhance Burkina Faso's bargaining power in international forums. The country might find itself with a louder voice in discussions on global issues, particularly those affecting the developing world. This shift in alliances opens up new opportunities for Burkina Faso. By forging stronger ties with countries like Nicaragua, Burkina Faso can diversify its diplomatic relationships and reduce its dependency on traditional allies. This diversification can lead to increased economic cooperation and investment from a broader range of international partners. Additionally, aligning closely with nations that share similar ideologies can strengthen Burkina Faso's position on the global stage, promoting a sense of solidarity and mutual support. This bold approach to foreign policy can enhance Burkina Faso's reputation as a nation that stands firm in its principles and seeks innovative paths to sovereignty and prosperity. Ibrahim Traore's emergence as a celebrated figure in Nicaragua and beyond stems from his anti-imperialist stance, emphasis on national sovereignty, and bold actions against perceived neo-colonial forces. His expulsion of French troops and efforts to renegotiate mining contracts have resonated with nations seeking to assert independence from Western influence. However, Traore faces significant challenges ahead. Domestically, he must address Burkina Faso's security issues and economic instability, while balancing diverse ethnic interests. Internationally, his alignment with controversial regimes may strain relationships with traditional allies and impact foreign investment. The future of Traore's leadership will likely depend on his ability to navigate these complex dynamics. If you enjoyed this analysis into the rise of Ibrahim Traore and his impact on global geopolitics, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what topics you'd like us to cover next. Stay tuned for more insightful content from Voice of Africa.